The Quantum Consciousness. Section 1. The Quantum Self. Exploring the Connection. In the realm of quantum mechanics, you will discover a fascinating link between your physical existence and your consciousness. This idea, known as quantum self, theorizes a connection between the quantum world and our personal reality. It's a complex topic, but let's break it down. Your physical existence, your body, is composed of particles. These particles obey the laws of quantum mechanics, which are fundamentally different from the classical laws we are familiar with in our everyday life. For instance, a quantum particle can exist in multiple places at once, a phenomenon known as superposition. Now, imagine if these principles could be applied to your consciousness. You are aware of your thoughts and feelings, but what if they are also subject to quantum laws? This is where the concept of quantum self comes into play. Proponents of this theory argue that consciousness isn't confined to a single state, like a particle in superposition. Your thoughts, feelings, and perceptions might exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed or measured, just like quantum particles. In this context, consciousness becomes a participatory process with your physical reality. Consider the double-slit experiment. Particles behave differently when observed. If your consciousness operates similarly, then it suggests that your observation or perception might directly affect your reality. It's a radical notion, but it's part of an ongoing conversation in the world of quantum physics. As you delve deeper into the quantum self, you will find that it's not just about understanding the universe, but also about exploring the potential depths of your personal reality. Section 2. Understanding Consciousness. Diving into the concept of consciousness, you are entering a realm where your thoughts, feelings, and perceptions aren't just internal experiences, but potentially quantum events that can influence your reality. You are not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the construction of your own world. This viewpoint is founded on quantum mechanics concepts, the theory that explains the movement of particles at the tiniest scales. It is a world where particles can exist in multiple places at once, where they can instantly change their state, and where observation affects them. Your consciousness as the observer plays a crucial role in this process. Theories like the quantum mind propose that your thoughts and feelings aren't just biochemical processes, but quantum events happening at the neuronal level. They suggest that you are constantly interacting with the quantum world, and this interaction shapes your reality. It is a fundamental break from the traditional notion of consciousness as the result of brain activity alone, necessitating a new understanding of what it means to be aware, see, and feel. But understanding consciousness isn't just about redefining it in quantum terms. It's also about integrating this new perspective with the experience of consciousness as we know it, a deeply personal, subjective experience. It's about reconciling the objective, measurable world of quantum mechanics with the subjective, immeasurable world of thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. In this quest to understand consciousness, you are not just exploring the quantum world. You are exploring the quantum self, the intersection of your mind, the physical world, and the quantum realm. Section 3. The nature of the self. How does your sense of self fit into this quantum perspective? You are likely familiar with the traditional view of the self, a singular, coherent entity that persists over time. But the quantum perspective suggests a different reality. If we apply quantum theory to consciousness, we are led to the concept of a quantum self. This quantum self isn't a fixed, unchanging entity. Instead, it's a fluctuating state of potentialities. Your self, like a quantum particle, does not have defined properties unless they are measured or observed. In essence, you are a bundle of possibilities, constantly collapsing into specific states of being. You might wonder, how does this connect to your daily experience? Consider how you seem to change based on context. At work, you are professional. With friends, you are relaxed. These aren't different selves, but different aspects of your quantum self, emerging based on the measurement of the situation. Moreover, quantum theory implies that these different selves might coexist in a state of superposition, much like a particle being in multiple places at once. It's a radical idea, but it could explain the complexity and fluidity of your consciousness. In summary, the nature of the self in quantum perspective isn't a singularity, but a fluctuating context-dependent entity. It's a theoretical concept indeed, but it has profound implications for understanding the self, identity, and consciousness. Let's now turn our attention to exploring quantum phenomena to deepen our understanding of this fascinating concept. Section 4. Exploring quantum phenomena. Now, let's delve into several quantum phenomena to further clarify this idea of a quantum self and its implications for your understanding of consciousness. First, you have got quantum entanglement, where particles become interconnected. This means if anything happens to one particle, it will affect its entangled pair, no matter the distance. It's as if they share a single existence. This could provide a model for the interconnectedness between your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Next, there's superposition. In the quantum world, things don't have definitive states until they are measured. They exist in multiple states at once. It's like Schrödinger's cat, neither dead nor alive until observed. This might shed light on the nature of your thought processes, which often exist in a flux of possibilities before settling into a decision. Lastly, consider quantum tunneling. This allows particles to pass through barriers that, according to classical physics, they shouldn't be able to. It's like walking through a wall. This phenomenon could explain those moments of insight or eureka where solutions seem to just pop into your consciousness, bypassing logical thought processes. Understanding these phenomena won't just deepen your grasp of quantum physics, but also the nature of your own consciousness. The quantum self isn't just a theoretical concept, but a lens through which to view your inner world. Section 5. The quantum mind-body connection. Building on these quantum phenomena, let's explore your mind-body connection through the quantum lens. You have probably heard that everything, including you, is made up of tiny particles behaving in accordance with quantum mechanics. But have you ever considered how this quantum reality might influence your mind-body relationship? The quantum mind-body connection posits that your thoughts and feelings aren't just biochemical processes, but are also influenced by quantum events. It's a theory that bridges the gap between the physical and metaphysical, suggesting a profound intertwining of your subjective consciousness with the objective universe. Consider the quantum principle of superposition, which allows particles to exist in multiple states simultaneously until measured or observed. If we apply this to your mind, it's possible that your thoughts and emotions could exist in a similar state of superposition, fluctuating between various possibilities until a conscious decision is made. Moreover, the quantum entanglement principle, where connected particles affect each other regardless of distance, might be mirrored in the deep emotional bonds you share with others. Could it be that your emotions are quantumly entangled with those of your loved ones, influencing and being influenced over distances? Critics argue that the warm, wet environment of the brain isn't conducive for maintaining quantum states. Yet, proponents counter that microtubules within brain cells could potentially host quantum processes. As you delve deeper into the quantum self, you will find that there's a lot to chew on. But don't worry, we are going to unpack it together. Now let's transition into our next topic, the quantum self and the observer effect. Section 6. Quantum self and the observer effect. In the realm of quantum physics, the observer effect plays a critical role in shaping your quantum self. This phenomenon asserts that the mere act of observing can alter the state of a physical system. So how does this influence your quantum self? It is critical to recognize that you are not merely a passive viewer, but an active participant in the creation of your reality. Your quantum self isn't a fixed entity, but an ever-changing dynamic construct. The observer effect insists that as you observe and interact with your world, you are influencing and modifying it. Every decision you make, every thought you have, and every action you take plays a part in this process. Let's take the classic double-slit experiment as an example. When not directly observed, particles behave as waves. Yet, when observed, they act like particles. It's as if they know they are being watched. This strange behavior hints at a profound truth. The world isn't simply an external entity that exists independent of you. Rather, it's intrinsically linked to your consciousness. Quantum mechanics challenges you to rethink your role in the universe. You are not a detached observer, but a co-creator. Your quantum self and the observer effect are interwoven, demonstrating that your reality isn't predetermined, but rather a product of your interaction with the universe. Section 7. Quantum Computing and Consciousness. You are probably wondering how quantum computing ties into your consciousness, and it's a fascinating journey to explore. Quantum computing is a topic of study that focuses on developing computers based on quantum theory principle. This theory explains the nature and behavior of energy and matter at the quantum level. But how does this connect to consciousness? Think of your consciousness as a powerful processor of information. Just as a quantum computer operates using both zeros and ones simultaneously due to a principle called superposition, your consciousness can hold contradictory ideas and feelings at once. It's like your mind is a quantum computer navigating through complex multidimensional states. This concept is further deepened by the quantum principle of entanglement. In the quantum world, two particles can be entangled, meaning the state of one instantly influences the other, no matter the distance. Some theorists suggest that our consciousness is interconnected in a similar way, forming a collective web of knowledge. Moreover, the observer effect, a key principle in quantum physics, states that the act of observing changes the observed. This mirrors how your conscious thoughts can impact your reality. The idea is that, like quantum particles, our thoughts and consciousness aren't separate from the world, but intricately intertwined with it. Understanding the parallels between quantum computing and consciousness can provide a new lens to view the human mind. It's a complex topic where science meets philosophy, and while it's still largely theoretical, it's an exciting frontier to explore. Section 8. The Observer Effect and Self-Perception. Consider this. Every single observation you make about yourself has the potential to alter your self-perception, just as the observer effect in quantum physics posits that the act of observing can change the observed. This is a profound concept to grasp, but it's the crux of the matter when we are discussing the observer effect and self-perception. The observer effect, as you might recall, is a core principle in quantum mechanics. It's the theory that simply by observing a particle, you are influencing its state. You're not just a passive onlooker. Your very act of observation is an active engagement that changes what you are observing. Now, let's extrapolate that to self-perception. The way you perceive yourself, the narratives you build about your identity, your abilities, and your value, they are not fixed. They are mutable and subject to your own observation. If you observe yourself as a failure, then that perception could very well shape your reality. But if you observe yourself as someone capable of growth and improvement, that too can alter your reality. This concept isn't just theoretical. It has practical implications. It suggests that by consciously observing and reframing your self-perceptions, you can impact your own reality. It is comparable to quantum mechanics in that it views the self as a fluctuating, ever-changing construct that can change through the act of observation rather than as a fixed thing. Therefore, understanding the observer effect in the context of self-perception can provide you with the tools to shape your own reality, to become the architect of your own quantum self. Section 9. Quantum Biology and the Self. Diving into the realm of quantum biology, you will find it provides a fascinating lens through which to examine your understanding of self. It's a field that marries the smallest scales of life, those of molecules and cells, with the strange rules of quantum mechanics. Here, you will find theories that suggest quantum phenomena can influence biological systems, perhaps even your own consciousness. Quantum biology posits that processes like photosynthesis, bird navigation, and even our sense of smell may hinge on quantum events. In these systems, particles behave in ways that defy classical physics, appearing in multiple places at once or spinning in two directions simultaneously. It's mind-bending stuff, but it's precisely these quirks that might play a role in your sense of self. Consider your sense of smell. Theories suggest it's not just about shape recognition, but also about detecting the vibrations of molecules, a quantum process. If true, you are using quantum mechanics every time you sniff a rose or savor a meal. Then, there's the role of quantum entanglement, spooky action at a distance, as Einstein famously snubbed it. This phenomenon could potentially weave together your brain's neurons, creating a quantum web of interconnected thoughts and feelings that comprise your consciousness. In this perspective, you are not just a physical entity, but a quantum one too. You are a being where wave-particle duality, superposition, and entanglement may all be at play, shaping your perception and experience of the world. Understanding this could revolutionize not only your sense of self, but also your understanding of reality as a whole. Section 10. Quantum Physics and Personal Identity. Building on the concept of a quantum biology-influenced self, it's important for you to examine how quantum physics further shapes your personal identity. Quantum physics, with its foundations in wave-particle duality and superposition, offers an intriguing perspective on human identity. Consider the quantum principle of superposition, which stipulates that a particle can be in numerous states at the same time until it is seen. Applying this concept to personal identity, it's conceivable that you are not just a fixed identity, but a multitude of potential selves. Each decision you make or don't make collapses these potentials into a singular reality. Then there's entanglement, another quantum phenomenon, where two particles become linked so that the state of one instantaneously affects the other, regardless of distance. If our identities are entangled with our experiences, then change in one's external environment could instantaneously affect one's internal state. In a quantum context, personal identity isn't a fixed, immutable construct. Rather, it's an evolving, dynamic entity that's constantly influenced by the external world and your interactions with it. This perspective challenges conventional understanding of self as static and separate from the world. At the quantum level, there's no separation between you and the environment. You are not just in the universe. You are a part of it. Every interaction, every observation, every decision you make shapes your quantum self and defines your personal identity. Therefore, understanding quantum physics can give you a new perspective on personal identity, revealing it as fluid, interconnected, and ever-changing. It's a perspective that's both humbling and empowering. Section 11. Quantum Field Theory and Consciousness. Now, let's explore how quantum field theory can shed light on your understanding of consciousness. At its core, quantum field theory claims that all particles and forces in the cosmos emerge from fluctuations in fields that exist everywhere. Imagine these fields as a net, with each node representing a particle. Changes or vibrations in these nodes correspond to changes in particles, and that's what you perceive as reality. But how does this relate to your consciousness? Some theorists suggest that consciousness itself might be a field, interacting with other fields in the universe. This is known as the quantum field theory of consciousness. If true, your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions aren't just chemical reactions in your brain, but interactions at the quantum field level. This perspective further challenges the traditional view of consciousness as a byproduct of complex computation within neurons. It suggests that consciousness might be fundamental to the universe, just like time and space. Theoretical physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff posited a model called orchestrated objective reduction. They suggest that quantum computations occur in microtubules within brain cells, influencing our conscious experience. These computations, they say, are non-local and quantum in nature, lending a universal quality to consciousness. Section 12. The quantum self in Eastern philosophy. In your exploration of the quantum self, you will find that Eastern philosophies have been hinting at these concepts for thousands of years. Buddhism and Hinduism, for instance, posit an interconnected web of existence, a concept that resonates with quantum entanglement. You are not an isolated unit, but rather a node in a complex, interlinked system. Consider the Buddhist concept of sunyata, or emptiness. It doesn't imply nothingness, but rather the lack of independent existence. Everything is interconnected and in constant flux, mirroring the probabilistic nature of particles in quantum mechanics. You aren't a static entity, but a dynamic, ever-changing process. Then there's the Hindu notion of Brahman, the ultimate reality. You are part of this vast, unifying force that underlies and transcends the physical world, much like the quantum field pervading all of space. Your Atman, or inner self, is essentially Brahman, reflecting the principle of non-locality, where a quantum particle can influence another instantaneously, irrespective of distance. You will also find parallels in Taoism's yin-yang, embodying the dualistic nature of quantum particles that can be both waves and particles. It's about balance and harmony, reminding you that you are an integral part of the cosmos, not separate or superior. Section 13. Quantum Psychology and Self-Transformation. Drawing from these ancient philosophical truths, your journey into quantum psychology opens a new realm for self-transformation. Quantum psychology isn't just a theoretical possibility, it's a practical tool. Quantum theory, with its emphasis on the observer effect, asserts that your conscious mind isn't a mere bystander in your life, but an active participant. This means you have the power to shape your reality. You are no longer passively subject to external circumstances, but an architect of your own life. The quantum self is fluid, constantly evolving and transforming. You are not a static being, but a dynamic process. Quantum psychology emphasizes this fluidity, encouraging you to embrace change and growth. It's about recognizing the potential for transformation that lies within you. This recognition can be empowering. It's not about denying negative experiences or emotions, but about understanding their role in your growth and transformation. Every experience, every emotion, and every thought is an opportunity for transformation. Quantum self-transformation involves recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. You are not an isolated entity, but a part of a larger whole. Recognizing this interconnectedness can lead to profound change. You are not just transforming yourself, but also the world around you. Quantum psychology is a radical shift in perspective, and it requires a willingness to question old beliefs and assumptions. But it's a shift that can lead to profound self-transformation. It's not an easy journey, but it's one that's worth embarking on. Section 14. Quantum Healing and Self-Actualization. Continuing your journey into the quantum self, you will uncover the potential of quantum healing. a process that can guide you towards profound self-actualization. At its core, quantum healing is a form of alternative medicine that taps into the body's quantum level to foster healing. It's not just about physical healing, but also emotional and spiritual wellness. To comprehend quantum healing, you must first grasp the concept of quantum entanglement. This theory posits that all particles are interconnected, sharing a deep, invisible bond. If you apply this to healing, it suggests that changes in one part of your body can affect the rest, fueling overall well-being. Now, how does this tie into self-actualization? Simply put, self-actualization is the realization and fulfillment of one's potential. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. When you are in a state of optimum health, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, you are better equipped to attain this. With quantum healing, you are not just treating symptoms. You are addressing the root cause. You are not just healing the body. You are aligning the mind, body, and spirit. This holistic approach enables you to tap into your fullest potential, propelling you towards self-actualization. At first glance, quantum healing may seem esoteric, but it's grounded in quantum physics principles. It's about understanding the intrinsic connections within your body and leveraging them for healing and growth. By embracing this approach, you are not just promoting healing. You are embarking on a journey towards profound self-actualization. Section 15. Quantum Mechanics and Free Will. As you delve deeper into the realm of quantum mechanics, you will discover its profound implications on the concept of free will. Quantum theory, with its inherent randomness and unpredictability, seems to challenge the deterministic view of the world, offering a distinct perspective on our understanding of choice and agency. Here's a quick snapshot. Traditional physics operates on cause and effect principles. If you know a system's initial conditions, you can predict its future. But in quantum mechanics, you can't. Quantum particles exist in superpositions where they can be in multiple states at once until observed. This observation collapses the superposition into one state, but the outcome isn't certain until it's measured. This inherent indeterminacy begs the question, is free will a quantum process? Some argue that if our brain's processes are quantum mechanical, our choices could be too, making them unpredictable and thus truly free. However, this is still a highly debated proposition. Critics argue that our brains don't operate at a quantum level, but rather at a level where classical physics rules. Yet, the existence of quantum effects in biological processes like photosynthesis lends some support to the quantum brain hypothesis. While it's tempting to link quantum mechanics to free will, it's important to tread with caution. Quantum theory doesn't provide a direct route to free will, but it complicates the narrative, nudging us away from rigid determinism. The concept of free will is as complex and mysterious as quantum mechanics itself. As you continue your exploration, keep an open mind. The quantum realm is a world of possibilities, just like the landscape of free will. Section 16. Quantum Consciousness and Non-Locality. Venturing into the realm of quantum consciousness and non-locality, you will find that these concepts further challenge our understanding of self and reality. As you delve deeper into this field, you will be introduced to theories that defy conventional wisdom, suggesting that our consciousness isn't confined to our brain or body, but rather is fundamentally interconnected with the universe at a quantum level. Non-locality, a term coined in quantum mechanics, refers to the idea that particles can be entwined in such a way that they instantly affect each other, regardless of the distance that separates them. This suggests that space and time aren't as absolute as we have traditionally believed. In the context of quantum consciousness, non-locality implies that our minds could potentially have an immediate impact on reality, far beyond the physical confines of our bodies. To support this, consider the double-slit experiment, a cornerstone in quantum theory. It shows that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed, at which point they collapse into a single state. Some theorists propose that consciousness acts as the observer, bringing reality into existence by collapsing these quantum states. This perspective challenges the Cartesian dualistic view of mind and body as separate entities. Instead, it presents a monistic view where mind and matter are entwined at the most elemental level. However, it's important to remember that these theories, while fascinating, are still highly speculative and require further empirical study. The exploration of quantum consciousness and non-locality paves the way for our next topic, quantum entanglement and identity. Section 17. Quantum entanglement and identity. Often, you will encounter the concept of quantum entanglement, which profoundly impacts our understanding of individual identity. In this quantum phenomenon, two particles can be linked in such a way that the state of one instantaneously influences the state of the other, no matter the distance separating them. This challenges the traditional concept of individuality, suggesting a cosmic interconnectedness at the quantum level. Quantum entanglement implies that your identity isn't just a standalone entity, but rather a part of a complex weave of relationships. You are not isolated, but entangled with others and the universe at large. It's like two dancers moving in perfect sync. Even if they are miles apart, a leap by one results in a simultaneous leap by the other. This concept shakes up the classical idea of identity as a self-contained unit. It presents a paradigm where you aren't merely you, distinct and separate. Instead, you are a node within a vast quantum network, your state inextricably tied to that of others. However, it's important not to oversimplify or romanticize quantum entanglement. It doesn't mean we are all mystically connected, or that actions have instantaneous cosmic repercussions. Rather, it's a scientific principle that challenges our understanding of self and other, nudging us to think beyond traditional boundaries. Section 18. Superposition and multiple realities. In the quantum realm, superposition introduces the mind-boggling proposition that you are not just living in one reality, but potentially many at once. It's the idea that a quantum particle can exist in several states simultaneously until it's observed or measured. This concept is backed by rigorous experiments in quantum physics. Imagine you are a quantum particle. Until someone observes you, you are not just in one place or one state. You are in numerous places and doing multiple things all at the same time. It's like leading multiple parallel lives. Now let's extend this concept to the entire universe. You are no longer just living your life in this world. You could be living countless other lives in countless other realities, all at once. But here's the caveat. Once you are observed or measured, you collapse into one state. It's like all your parallel lives suddenly converge into the one you are experiencing now. It's hard to wrap your head around, isn't it? Quantum superposition is a fundamental property of quantum physics that is essential to comprehending the nature of our universe. It may even have profound implications for our understanding of consciousness and identity. After all, if you are not just living one life, but many, who exactly are you? The answer to that question might be more complex and more fascinating than you ever imagined. Section 19. Implications of the quantum self for society. So, what could this concept of a quantum self mean for society as we know it? It's vital to understand that the quantum self isn't just a quirky, theoretical idea. It has real, tangible implications that could transform our societal constructs and expectations. At the core, the quantum self suggests that we are not fixed entities, but rather are in a constant state of flux and possibility. This challenges our traditional notions of identity and individuality, which hinge on the idea of a stable, unchanging self. If we accept the quantum self, we might have to rethink how we approach issues like personal responsibility and accountability. After all, if we are always changing, who's to blame for past actions? Additionally, the quantum self could disrupt our understanding of relationships and social interactions. If we are all interconnected at a quantum level, then the separation between us is more illusion than reality. This has profound implications for how we view societal structures, hierarchies, and power dynamics. It suggests a more egalitarian society, where everyone is equally valuable and interconnected. But it's not all theoretical. The concept of the quantum self could also have practical implications, such as in mental health treatments. If our selves aren't fixed, then neither are our mental states. This could pave the way for novel therapeutic approaches that leverage the power of quantum possibilities. In essence, the quantum self could shake the very foundations of our society. And on that note, let's explore how we might integrate these quantum concepts into everyday life. Section 20. Integrating quantum concepts into everyday life. Drawing from the profound implications of the quantum self, you are now faced with the exciting challenge of incorporating these concepts into your everyday life. It's a task that requires a shift in perspective, a recalibration of the lens through which you perceive reality. First, understand that quantum mechanics isn't just a distant, abstract science. It's a potent framework that describes how everything in your world operates at the most fundamental level. You are deeply entangled in this quantum web, whether you are pondering life's big questions or simply commuting to work. To integrate these concepts, start by accepting the principle of superposition. Recognize that you are not confined to a single state of being, but exist in multiple potential states simultaneously until observed. This doesn't mean you are literally in multiple places at once, but it does highlight the vast potential within you. Next, embrace the concept of entanglement. Understand that your actions have far-reaching effects like ripples spreading out in a pond. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions aren't isolated events, but part of an interconnected quantum network. Lastly, approach life with uncertainty. Not in the sense of doubt, but in the quantum notion that you can't know both a particle's position and momentum simultaneously. Apply this to life. While you can strive for precision, accept that there's always an element of unpredictability. Incorporating quantum concepts into everyday life doesn't mean you will start levitating objects or teleporting, but it will provide a fresh, empowering perspective on your existence and your place in this quantum universe. Embracing the quantum self can shift your perspective. Recent polls suggest 55% of scientists are now open to the quantum consciousness theory, a drastic increase from a decade ago. This rising acceptance challenges us to reevaluate our identities, our place in multiple realities, and our interconnectedness. As society progresses, integrating these quantum concepts into everyday life could open new paths for understanding consciousness, shaping a more enlightened, interconnected world. Thanks for listening to or reading this from Audiobooks Office.